on the Speedway out of 46. So
Mexican driver Ruben Pardo had a good run in the Supercuts Dodge in Mexico City. Got the chance to run it here in only his second oval track start in the Nationwide Series. And Pardo right now is 18th of 18 with a 29.98. Matt is with the man who's
boogieing back to the truck, and Larry Mack had a question. He heard a rumor that you've been doing a lot of practicing for the Smoky Burnout competition at Lowe's coming up next week, and really, you've only done it once, and that was a stellar performance.
Yeah, I was just down there, you know, for the deal, but no, I didn't. I guess I just wasn't in the mood for an interview. But
well, you wrecked the car, though.
Yeah, and then you had to come up and
well, we were not going to talk about you wrecking the car, but Larry Mack brought it up.
Was that the oh, by the way, Matt, to that for Clint Boyer? Here's Eric McClure. Best finish of the season, 15th at Talladega. This will be his second start at Darlington in the Nationwide Series. He is 19th with a 30.48. Another of the drivers, Jeff, who've just chosen to get a good solid lap and get in the show.
Again, they understand that they just need to be able to do something like that, just to be smart. And Krista, sometimes these drivers, it's kind of a challenge for them.
Absolutely. Down here in the garage, I know we're talking about Clint Boyer and Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards, but what about Matt Yoakum, who's down there interviewing the other guys on the other side? And that's his mom, Mary Yoakum, a special decal here on the car. Happy Mother's Day. Pam Boas, Tony Stewart's mom. The reason they are on the 89 of Morgan Shepherd, you may have heard last week on Tony Stewart's radio show, which Matt co-hosts with him, they talked about helping out Morgan Shepherd, paying for a set of tires. So to thank Matt and Tony and all the folks who've helped out, well, they put their moms' names on the car to wish them a happy Mother's Day. Very nice.
Nice gesture.
Very nice gesture.
Morgan Shepherd from Conover, North Carolina. The Victory in Jesus Racing Dodge has been running here since 1984. And you see all those moms represented on the left side of his car. He is 23rd with a 28.90. Is that going to be enough?
Not bad.
Johnny Chapman for MSRP Motorsports clocks in at a 29.30. That will lock Sam Hornish into the field and puts Chapman. Californian Bernie Lamar is driving the Greg Biffle Foundation Ford this weekend, and he will race tonight with a lap of 28.79. He is in, and the bottom two remain, Morgan Shepherd and Johnny Chapman, as Carl Lawn comes out in the Red Line Oil Dodge.
Carl Long is what you call a true racer, does whatever he can do to stay involved in the sport and get something to the racetrack, Jeff.
Yeah, he loves to drive race cars. I mean, it's always working, putting deals together, and trying to, you know, get in some series just so he can get some laps and race. I mean, he just loves to race.
Never forget, probably 5-6 years ago now, off the wall, right there off turn 2, Jeff.
Yeah, he did. Again, trying as hard as he can.
Trying a little too hard, Jeff. He needed a big pickup on lap 2 and did everything he could to get it.
He didn't get out of it.
This is what he's talking about, Herman. He's talking about he's a racer. He's got his foot in it. He knows he's hurt, but he said, I'm going to go for it, guys. No, my friend, you didn't hit it a little bit. You hit it a lot.
And the second lap was quicker, but now Carl Long moves into the bottom two, and this will lock Morgan Shepherd into the race.
Exited this turn, or he got back in the throttle. The car just didn't stick, and bam. Wall just jumps out there at you.
But every time I think about Carl Long, I think about him qualifying for the Coca-Cola 600 and working a deal with Darrell Waltrip to get him in that race to start it that night.
Yep.
Timing light. That will
Brett Rowe is trying to make his first Darlington start in the Certainteed installation. Number 05, it would be his 10th start of 2008. And here's what happened up in turn 4, coming to the white flag.
Then that back straightaway rolls off down in turn 3. Car starts up, and I mean, it just never takes a sip, Mike. I mean, it just comes out on him, and again, trying to keep it off the outside wall, but he still, you know, collects part of it, and some damage. I mean, I'm not going to say it would have been enough to keep him from making another lap, but he just didn't have the confidence, I don't think, to go back and try to hook it up and go again.
Hey, and what did Darrell Waltrip say about qualifying? What we're going to see with this and Sprint Cup qualifying, it might not be the fastest 43 cars, but it'll be the 43 cars that go make a good solid lap and not make a mistake.
Yeah.
Go home. The 31 is Californian Kenny Hendrick. This is the grandstave.com Chevrolet on the entry list. He's trying to make his third start of 2008 and his first at Darlington. He has to beat a 29.68. That's where Carl Long is right now.
Have to pick it up from practice. His fastest lap of practice, Mike, was a 30.73, so he will have to step it up a little bit, which is possible here at Darlington.
Yeah, he's got to find a little over a second to be able to knock Carl Long out of the race. Again, Carl, shot him up the racetrack right on the entry. He's really hit the racetrack hard. A lot of sparks underneath the car.
From the left rear and the right front, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's close.
And what happens?
He's
Jeff,
close. A 67. He's in. By 1/100th, he's going to race.
Shoo.
And Jeff, as you know, what happens if you run a 30.67 in practice, you pick it up a second, that car is going to travel a lot more. You're going to pick up a lot more shock travel, and you're going to bottom out in places you didn't in practice, but just because of running faster.
And he just bottomed out again and shot up that racetrack. And if I was a crew chief on that car, I'd be turning the radio on and say, we're in, park it before you knock the wall down, my friend. And very good point. You're exactly right.
Second lap is faster. Kenny Hendrick is 33rd. He will race tomorrow. And the bottom two remain Carl Long and Brett Rowe. Car into the show, but 30.46 is going to put him in the bottom two. Instead, Harmon locks Carl Long into tonight's race.
And what that means is Carl Long's efforts paid off
On that second lap.
on that second lap right there. Him keep puffing like he did, even though he bounced it off that outside wall, got him in tonight's race. And I don't think that car's hurt that bad.
Yeah. So Mike Harmon and Brett Rowe are the bottom two. Danny Efland is our next qualifier. 4 cars to go. Efland in the number 0 Lori Morgan Chevrolet.
The thing about Carl Long, he'll be one of the guys in there hammering on that car to get it fixed. You can guarantee you that.
Absolutely. And right now for Danny Efland, his mission is to run just a little bit better than Mike Harmon. All he needs to run is like a 30.45, and that will get him into this race tonight, and he can get it back here to start-finish line. It looks like he's going to do it very handily.
So the Irmo, South Carolina native is in the show with a 37th place run of 29.75. Mike Harmon, Brett Rowe remain the bottom two with 3 cars to go.
I'm going to say it again. Somebody should have been on the radio saying, hey, where are you going?
Yeah, it's not like Ernie Banks is saying, let's play 2.
No.
You're in the show. Got to go. Second lap, right on top of the first. 5 1/1000ths different. So a solid run by Danny Efland, and he will race tonight.
Well, a solid run there. A good effort on the part of Danny Efland. That's E-F-L-A-N-D.
Mother's Day tomorrow. Mike Harmon and Brett Rowe are the bottom two. Terry Cook is this week's driver for MSRP Motorsports. And the veteran of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, where he has 6 career wins. This will be his first start of the Nationwide Series. He has to beat 30.46 to get past Mike Harmon and Brett Rowe. And by the tracker, it looks like he'll do that handily.
Terry's raced here before in the Craftsman Truck Series, and I'm sure he's probably, like everybody else, pretty amazed that this racetrack is as smooth as it is, and as how much grip it's got, and speed is potentially in this racetrack as he brings it down to banking off of turn 4 and uses every bit of it up.
Yeah, and how close that wall is. That's Phil Parsons on the radio to Terry, who is in the race, 31st.
3. Nice job, bud.
Yes, it is. And he's one and done.
That is a good move.
Now we're getting ready to see what's going on.
Because Mike Harmon and Brett Rowe are the bottom two, and there are 2 cars to go.
And
One of them is Denny Hamlin, who was fastest in practice, so you know Hamlin.
You can put on 10 sets of tires, and you may find 3 of them that feel the same, but the other 7 all have a different feel to it, and that car could have went in and done something totally different, and what got him in trouble. He could have been attacking this racetrack and saying, I'm going to run a 35-second lap, but it did not hook up. That car looked like it never did take a set entering turn 1.
And that's something we normally don't have to talk about here, whether you want stickers or not. In years past, it's no question you want stickers every time you go on the racetrack. But here is he made a decision to go with stickers, but who knows if that contributed to the accident. But, well, unfortunate.
Also, look at the string that Hamlin was trying to extend. The last 2 times he'd been here in a Busch car, he'd sat on the pole and won the race. So he was going for the 3-peat and ends up going home. So now it's Andy Ponstein or Brett Rowe.
Listen, y'all talk about it sometimes, that risk-reward factor there. He stepped over the line. It just doesn't take much at this racetrack to step over that line. And
as Darrell Waltrip and all of us have been talking about all day long, you got to remember where you are. This is Darlington, and she will reach out and she'll trick you. Just when you think you're feeling pretty good about her, she will mess you up.
But think about all this drama we're having with guys on the racetrack one at a time. Think about when you put 43 of them on the racetrack together.
I can't wait to watch. I can tell you that tonight, and particularly tomorrow night, is Andy Ponstein. He's coming.
And he's going to do it. Andy Ponstein with his best lap of the weekend, 30.07. He will start 41st. Brett Rowe and Denny Hamlin are the drivers knocked out in qualifying. Andy, you're in the show.
I was going to say, somebody needs to be talking to somebody. He didn't watch the 11 car very well.
This lap's going to be a little better. It is by 100th. So Carl Edwards gets his 8th career Nationwide Series pole. His last pole was 51 races ago at Lowe's Motors.
Did what they had to do.
Not the fastest 43 cars. The 43 cars that made it back in one piece.